on here. Do we do a link on here?
And good evening and welcome to episode 45 of Endless Banter. I hope we're doing all right. We're 2 minutes late, which is usually the case. We're usually 20 minutes late, but we're here nonetheless. So I am tonight joined by the good old Mr. Adam Rayner. Good evening, Mr. Rayner. How are you, sir?
All right, mate. Yeah, I'm sweet. Yeah.
Good.
How is everyone?
So we've got Adam on this week. As you can see, Paul's not with us yet. He is going to be with us later on. He has got some other duties to deal with. So yeah, we've got Adam tonight. So thank you ever so much, Adam, for coming on. It was very short notice just to get you on. He's been like, fuck it, you know what, let's come on. So Adam, we're going to start this off like we do every week. How's your week been? What are you vaping? What are you have for tea? And generally, how are you this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't had nothing for tea. I'm not feeling 100%, but that's nothing new there. I'm on my cleaner with some Sublime. I'm on my Adam Suicide with Pink Blood, and I've got some Blue Pup in this V9.
What do you think to that? I've not tried.
Really like it.
I think you like it.
Really like it. It's an 8mm tank though, so I don't know how that's come about.
Is it stock as that, or is that the bubble glass that comes with it?
I'm assuming because it's come straight from them.
Yeah,
it's like an import, if you like. But I mean, it's a chunky old mod. Look at the size difference on them.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, like do you remember the old V8 stick? I used to love the V8 stick with the big baby beast on it. I like that.
It looks proper squash, does that tank though, doesn't it? Like chunky.
But it's massive. Like it is really big. Like as soon as I see it, I was like, "There's no way that's 2 mil." And I looked into it. It's an 8mm tank. So.
No, it's a big tank. It's that big old.
Yeah, they don't come with a spare glass neither, and it proper hangs over. I will smash it eventually. It's getting smashed, like 100%.
Yeah, because the first thing that's hit the floor in it is the glass tank on that.
You know, but to be honest with you, I think Smok's right up their game recently. You know how much I disliked them previous.
Well, I put a status out the other week, and I said this last week on the show. My status was. It said something like, I hate smart mods. Said everybody who's dropped a smart mod. do you feel that, because obviously when we saw the aliens and stuff like that, we saw like the paint and stuff rubbing off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't just think it was that as well. I think they were producing so many different colours when it come to the alien, and they weren't giving people like the shops enough time to shift the old colours before they were bringing in new ones.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows how many colours there were, and then they were bringing out a different model every week, and nobody could keep up with it. So it was pretty pointless. But I think it sounds to me like they've listened a little bit. But while they've listened a little bit and they've calmed down on the mods, you've got people like Voopoo and everyone that have picked up, and they're releasing one every other week, and it's just, I don't know, like maybe it's the thing to do now.
We've all seen sort of it changing, every week we've seen a new device and sort of stuff. Maybe they sort of are owning in on a particular device that they're working on and sort of slowing down a little bit, because let's be realistic, there's only so many times you can polish a turd. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, that's right. They're all good starter mods. That's exactly what they are. They're starter mods, and in my opinion, if you are going to use something like this to give up vaping, and then it will be cheap in the long run. But what we're like, we pick it up and we want every single mod there is available.
Shiny, it's 100%. Like we were saying last week when we talked about, because I've done a poster, because we was talking about it last week about going back to the prices of cigarettes towards vaping rather than vaping thinking about vaping prices. Going from a smoker's perspective, I've done a poster this week. And sort of looking back, because I didn't know how much prices of fags were, so I had to ask the missus, because she works obviously in a supermarket. And I was like, can you get me sort of a price? What's the beginning price of a pack of fags? And it's £9.10 for 19.
The cigarettes I used to smoke are now nearly £14 a packet.
It's fucking mental, innit?
When I first started smoking, you used to have £1.25.
I remember being 14, probably 12, 13-year-old, stood outside the shops with a £2 coin, and I was like, I need to get a pack of fags, and I was begging anyone I could, and I think it was like £1.90 to £2 for a pack of 10, and that's what I
Mad, isn't
remember
it?
being, yeah.
Because you can't even get tens no more, can you? You can't get tens, and like even with tobacco, you can't get half pouches or whatever they used to come in them little boxes.
No, you have to get. I think it's a full 25 gram. I think it is, and cigs come in 19 now. They don't even come in 20s.
Really?
Yeah, cigs come in 19s.
Shit. I'd
Gotta
have
get,
been
gotta
screwing back in the day. I opened up my pack, there's only 19 fags there.
19 fags, £9.10. So we worked it out. I'll get you the calculation. So we worked out what the price of vaping was, to the price of smoking. I'll let me get the sheet, and I'll tell you exactly what the prices is. It's actually really, really mental to think about. So a pack of 20 fags or 19 fags is £9.10. That's the cheapest pack of fags you can buy, £9.10.
Bloody hell.
To do a month smoking of buying 20 fags a day is £273. To smoke 20, this is just for 20 fags a day for a year. So you're buying a pack of 20 every day is 3,276 quid.
And people can't afford a mod, so they go and buy a packet of fags.
So vaping, the cost of 3 10ml bottles is a tenner. So you do the 3 for a 10 on 10ml bottles. The cheapest replacement coil is £2.50. So, and you start you sort of cheap end starter mods are like 25 quid. Yeah.
Mate, listen, I went in Superdrug the other day. Don't know what the fuck this is. Never heard of it before. I got that for £1.80.
No way.
It was there on its own, and I went, no, £1.80. When it is, I went, I'm having it, and I'm just going to give it to my name. It's like a tobacco flavour. Like even if they've stopped making them, but £1.80.
£1.80. So £10 for 3 bottles of e-liquid, £2.50 cheapest coil, and 25 quid for a standard starter mod. So this is the cost of. So you're talking 3 bottles of e-liquid a week and 1 coil every week. So in a month, so a week's vaping is 50 quid, and if you do that through a year, it's £600. That's how much it is to vape a year, buying 3 bottles of e-liquid and 1 coil a week.
It's mad, isn't it?
600 compared to 3,276 quid for smoking. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it is a hard one because, I mean, as vapors, we are trying to get away from that tag of being smokers and like the government tag us under. So, I mean, I hate the thought of thinking that we are still classed as that, but that's theoretically what we used to do, and that's what we moved on from.
Yeah, I think because of like the TPD, we're still under Tobacco Product Directive. We're still under what they assume is a tobacco product. We know we're not meant to be under that. We should really have our own regulations. We shouldn't have be under TPD. But anyways, we are under that. I think because I remember a time where everyone was saying we need to get away from the word e-cigarette. We need to get away from the word e-cig.
Yeah.
That's never going to go away because that's terminology that everyone knows. A vaping product is e-cig or an e-cigarette. So kind of taking it on board and, getting used to using that terminology of it because that's the word everybody knows is how I feel sort of like when they say we are a tobacco product, we sort of have to deal with it because that's now where we're at.
Well, that's how we all become because we thought that's how we all become vaping because they said it's an electronic cigarette and you're like, well, that's got to be better than smoking. But now we are all doing it and everybody knows what they are. Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it is time to try and find our own way. Considering how many different types of way there is to vape now. See, our class an e-cigarette was one that looks like a cigarette that you used to vape and glows up blue.
Yeah.
That's what I class an e-cigarette. I don't class these as e-cigarettes.
Yeah, because it looks like a cig, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is light up like cig-like. It does very much look like a cig, and I get what you're saying. That does look fucking nothing like a cig. You know what I mean? I get that.
Yeah, and it also produces a much bigger cloud.
yeah, definitely. I just feel like for us to sort of, you know, rather than just appealing to the vaping lot. Like we'll get onto the subject of you running groups and stuff like that, and you know, being very heavily into the vaping community. But sort of for me personally, when I say e-cigarettes, it's like I'm trying to get somebody who's smoking to still, you know, connect to smoking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
if you're
I mean
not
that's all good if you're in a shop and you're talking to somebody that don't vape, or if you're trying to get your friend off of vaping or off of cigarettes onto vaping and stuff like that. But when you are talking like on here, for instance, or on a vaping group, 99% of them have already vapors anyway.
That's it. You're sort of preaching to the choir. Yes, I get that 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of how do you get lean into that sort of where you're getting smokers into vaping and stuff? Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the shop side of it. And but what the thing is for me is when you're talking to a friend and you're giving them sort of the information who is a smoker, I sort of feel like you have to dull it down a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Of course you do, yeah. Of course you do, yeah, yeah. Because that's where, like I said a second ago, it's where we all started. It's how we all become like vape obsessed, if you like. Like it isn't. It's not. We didn't just. Like, I'm the kind of person. If I did pick up when I did pick up a vape, I needed to know the ins and outs of it. Like I was building within a week, and that's the type of person I am. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. Yeah. But some people ain't like that. They're like, I don't want to smoke a cake. Well, you're not smoking a cake, are you? Like 90% of the people that go from vaping from smoking to vaping always want to vape tobacco. Is that really?
Yeah. You want to be pulled away from that sort of thing, but then it sort of like gives them the mindset that they are actually having a cigarette. Right.
Yeah. So you have to say that there is that option of vaping it, but try this.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people either I would say kind of 50-50. A lot of people either go because they want to feel like the sensation and the taste of a cigarette, and some want to get the absolute opposite direction of a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like vaping fruit, like that. You know, it's very much down to the person who's starting vaping and, you know, having that connection with where they need to be with the taste, smell. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be realistic, a tobacco does not taste like a tobacco.
No, it don't. No. See, I think when it actually comes up to actually giving up smoking, it's almost like a grieving process. Like you need to actually tell yourself you're never going to have that cigarette again, and then in your mind, it's like you can't get your head around never having something again that you want. It's mad, like, and I think it plays tricks on you a lot. And I think that is almost like smoking's died to you. Do you know what I mean?
I do like that terminology. I do really like that. It is very much that, because if you're wanting to get away from it, you want to quit it. Because let's be realistic, it's probably 80% of people who vape want to vape. The rest of the 20% of people who have been forced into vaping, like it's not necessarily been like a health thing, but we know we've all seen men getting the missus bringing all the generation men into shop and being like, "You're fucking stop smoking."
Well, it ain't just that. It's like you were saying about the price thing as well. People can't afford to smoke nowadays. They just can't afford it. Like my poor old nan, she's probably got a bigger vape collection than most people I know, but she still slides a cigarette now and again. Do you know what I mean? Like, and she generally cannot. In her twilight years, I honestly think she should be able to do what the fuck she wants. I mean, I can see it having health benefits for her, but being like nearly 90 years old, do you know what I mean? You might as well live in comfort as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that. I mean, I'd like to see her vape because I might get another couple of Christmases out of her.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things, isn't it? It's just one of them things.
Yeah, I definitely, and I feel because we spoke before about it and like dual using and stuff like that. I have no issue with dual using. If you want to slice cig every now and again, it don't care to me. Do you know what I mean? That's what.
Yeah.
If you, as we all know, if you ain't got your vape, you 110% you're gonna turn around and go, "I'll have a fag." It's 100%. Anybody out there who's saying that they've lose their vape at home and don't have access to their vape and they get offered a cigarette and they say no, I'm sorry, but they are very, very strong will-minded, because if I ain't got my vape, I would happily take it on. So that's just my personal opinion, because I feel like we use a vape a lot more than we did ever smoking, because it's constantly in your hand, or it's constantly in your pocket. You know, if you're a vapor, you never forget.
It doesn't go out, and you don't have to start up a new vape, doesn't it? That's the thing. So that it's constantly there, and you are correct. You are 100% correct there. Like it's a mad one, because like even I was reading this thing the other day and it was saying about like that 18 milligram is equivalent to smoking 20 plus cigarettes a day. And I'm thinking, well, it can't be, because if I'm vaping 3 milligram and I'm vaping it twice as much, then I could be smoking previously 20, 30 fags a day, surely. I mean,
it's obviously the nicotine that's in your blood, isn't it? The sort of nicotine that, because you think, imagine if you're vaping constantly all day, like we say this about nic salts, which is obviously the new thing for mouth to lung and sort of the way forward that it's going at the minute. But you can imagine with a cigarette, you're obviously having a fag, you skyrocket in your nicotine levels in your blood, and then it dropping off, and that's when you're craving a cig. You do it again, so it's like a mountain. You imagine it like that. But when we're tooting all day long on a vape, our nicotine levels is constantly like this.
That's correct.
Topping it up all the time. We're always topping that nicotine up, and that's for me is not like you're not craving it. You're just having it because it's there and it is in your bloodstream and it's staying in your bloodstream because you're constantly banging it. And that's where I've like used 20 gram nicotine salts and gone, fuck me, I've got a right nick rush and I've had like 4 pulls because it's just fucking hit me.
Did you find though when you first started vaping that you didn't know, like I didn't know the ins and outs of it, so I was just vaping it non-stop like a madman. I was just vaping it, and then
I've been nick sick a fair few times when I first started vaping because you feel like the access to the vape, as you said earlier previously about it not going out, it does not go out. So you've got it. It's not like you have to go outside to, have you two. You dock out your cig, you go back in, do what you got to do. You can literally be cleaning your house, so you could literally have the vape on you all the time, and you're tooting like cleaning to it, like, because then you constantly got it. It's not, you don't understand that you're still getting a lot more nicotine than there is in a fag. 20 milligram nic salts is supposed to be the equivalent to a 3 to 6 milligram, and a fag is 9. I think they're like 9 milligram per cigarette. You're constantly consuming more.
Yeah.
So your nicotine levels are going up. That's the thing. It's very much research, but then the research when I first started wasn't there. We did the research. We had to do the research to find it out, and it's people these days that are very lucky that can actually have that research there. And there is people out there like Battery Mooch who does all your battery safety, tells you about what's the right batteries, correct ampage, and stuff like that. And this is sort of what I love, because then you do get to see, well, you don't really see it that much anymore, and you'll tell me this, you don't really get to see this sort of going from starter kits to this and that, especially on Facebook. You don't get to see the journey. There isn't that much of a journey anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you do to a certain extent, like you get to see hand checks and stuff like that, but I also think there's so many different types of vaping now, like when you go from like mouth to lung to sub-ohmium to building. Like you didn't really have that option to begin with, did you? I mean, you had the option of either like a sub-ohm or you're building. It's as simple as that. And now you've got like stacks. You've got even lipos, like, and you've got all different types. And I mean, you do get to see some people's journeys, and like, and as well as a lot of people on here, like the people message you, and I like getting messages from these people that are asking you how to do this, how to do that, because it means that they're learning, and they're learning the right way, other than learning the wrong way.
Do you sort of, because obviously let's sort of go into your sort of background. Well, I'd say in the last couple, probably year and a half, 2 years now, has been predominantly helping people on Facebook. How many groups do you run now? You must be an admin on about 90 groups now.
Yeah, I'm in about 10, 15, 20, something like that. I wouldn't even know.
So you get to see obviously different people. Do you see a massive, maybe not an influx, but do you get to see a general sort of new vapors coming into groups and asking questions? Or is it
yeah, but I also see. I mean, the thing I don't like about on there is instead of people helping each other, which really how we all learn. I look things up, but you still second guess yourself on everything, especially when it comes to building on a mech and stuff like that. And instead of people saying, "Oh, this is what you do," they say, "Well, you shouldn't be having that if you ain't got no fucking clue what you're doing." Do you know what I mean? And it's like all these elitist groups and shit like that. And I haven't got time for it. And it's just bullshit, because we've all learned from from nothing. Do you know what I mean? And this is why I originally started liking the groups, because people was helping me. And then you kind of you learn you know as well as I do, Tom. Like you learn your own way. So people tell you what to do, and then you learn from that, and you take that little bit more. Do you know what I mean? So you learn the easier way, if you like, as long as it's safe. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's got their own way of doing stuff. So I mean, as long as I mean, it's bitchiness, isn't it? That's all it is. It's just bitchiness.
There is a lot of that on it, and I feel like a lot of people have took a step back from groups and stuff like that, and sort of chilled out from it, and done their own thing, and that's where I sort of see, because obviously seeing like you classing these groups as elitist. At one point at time I would have said elitist, but I feel like there's that many niches in vaping that there is these niche groups that do sort of go into different directions, and everyone sort of sees different ways of vaping, and they sort of staying with their groups. What I generally don't like, I don't mind that. I don't mind where people go off and they do their own thing, and if that's your style of vaping, like you've got groups like Safer Vapors, you've got groups like UKS, you've got groups like yourself, like 2G. These groups are very different and appeal to very different people. And to me, I 100% agree with how groups go in different directions, and they want to talk about squonking.
Something different,
and to me personally, I think that's perfect. But when you say about the bitchiness, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I feel like people should carry on with what they're doing and not worry about what other people are doing. And it's sort of like that.
But what's the harm in saying to someone that can't build? Look, get yourself a regulated mod and an RDA, learn how to build, then go and put it on a mech, and then know what you're doing. Like, there's no harm in saying that.
No.
Instead of making someone little that much that they don't want to ask no more questions no more.
But then you get
people
like me who will refuse, who not refuse, but I will wholeheartedly say, hand on chest, and I will say that I've stepped away from when people put up stuff like that, because you know what's going to happen, because people will jump down people's throats and be like, I know you've seen this a million times. You turn around and people say, well, what's the best kit for starting, or what should I advance to? Rather than people going, do you need to advance? Do a little bit more research. People are like, fuck it, look for a Smok Mag 220. It's like, do they need that?
Before you know it, you've got 32 links to fucking 32 sites and discount codes coming out your ass.
Exactly. It's not sort of like, to me, it used to be someone used to give a statement and be like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And then people are joining in like, help. And then there's just other people going, fuck off, you don't want to listen to me. You ain't got a fucking clue. Listen to me. Do that. That's to me, that's the annoying side of things. And that's where a lot of people have come away from groups, and other people have segregated themselves from different groups.
Yeah, well, there's so many groups out there, and like you say, because people. I mean, well, I think this year's the last 6-7 months calmed down a lot with the new groups, because I mean there was so many out there anyway, and the big cull of 2019's helped a little bit, I think, as well. I think that's good. I think it's a good thing. At least you know who's active in your group, and it's like false advertisement. But what was I saying?
What do you feel to the big purge then? Like the big purge of people getting kicked out of groups and all this?
I genuinely think it was a great idea. Like 2G, I think I've run 3 comps with adding people. So it was never going to be a big thing. I mean, I think we lost about 2.5K. Maybe 3, something like that. I don't know, whatever. But I think, but there was some groups that lost up to 11K.
Wow.
And that's just mind blowing, isn't it? Absolutely mind blowing. But I mean, I think the comp side of things is definitely on the downer anyway. Like some kits you couldn't give away, but I think that also went down to a lot of people getting greedy, saying add 38 people to this group, like tag 64 people to this group. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a lot down to that. See, I used to enjoy a giveaway. I used to enjoy it. It was funny, but then a lot of people, as soon as they start getting hashtagged like the fucking free shit hunters and all shit like that, stuff like that, I think that kind of gives them the label to I don't know, almost scare them into entering comps. I'm running one at the minute, and to be fair, the numbers have been quite good. I mean, I'm like 205 or something like that, which is good for at the minute. Like before, we were running a smock giveaway. I couldn't get 20 people involved. Like madness.
It's crazy,
Like,
isn't it?
pure madness. You could
What do you
not
think?
give away a smock.
Onto that though, what do you think the reason is behind that?
I don't
Though?
know. I think it's half the point that some people don't want to enter them. They were clogging up a lot of people's feeds, maybe, and people feel a bit shamed, really, when you see when I used to do comps, it was fun. It was actually fun. Like, I mean, when you're winning stuff, it's almost like kind of play a fruit machine. Like you're winning it. Do you know what I mean? You're not investing nothing. And all you're investing is a little space on your timeline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I mean, when you're winning it, it was fun. But then I mean, I actually just generally got fed up with them. Like I got fed up with. I mean, I'm probably still in now over 2,000 groups, vaping groups, and how many times I get deleted? I keep on adding them back. I mean, now I'm getting a load of medals. I don't know what that's about.
Oh, that's the new sort of incentive by Facebook, in it, with all these new like storyteller names and shit like that. Well, I'm gonna show you something, right? And I did this the other day when we was talking about groups, and I took a video on my phone of all the groups I'm actually added to, because I don't know if you know it, but I did put up a status the other day, and it said, "Thank you, congratulations, Facebook, for deleting all people from groups, but you deleted me from fucking none."
Yeah.
So
well, that means you're active on them, Tom.
So, I'm not though. That's the problem. And I went onto my Facebook the other day, and I was speaking to John Martin from the Ideal Home Show. John, absolute legend of a bloke. I was speaking to him, and he was like, I was like, bro, how many groups are you in? And he was like, 5. I was like, what? He was like, yes, I'm in 5. I went, mate, watch this. And this is a video of how many groups I am actually in. And this is no bullshit. This is a 40-second video of all the groups
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
40-second video of how many groups I'm in. It's still going. I'm about to put my phone down, and it's still going.
Yeah, I'd have to take mine as well. I think at the last count, I was in like 2,000. I deleted 100, and then I got added to 20, and I thought, fuck it. I don't care. I just thought, fuck it.
I appreciate that there's so many niches in vaping, but 2,000 groups of the same people starts to get a little bit fucking annoying.
Tom, there was some from Spain. There's some from fucking France. I don't talk no other language. I struggle talking English. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking like some Chinese dude popping up asking me all this, but I don't know what's going on. Like, I just, yeah, mate. Yeah, I haven't got a clue. But yeah, I mean, and I'm going back to the comp side of things. Yeah, but a comp's a comp at the end of the day. But I think comps are good that side of things. You can get a product out there.
It's not just that though. It gets sort of the groups and people active, sort of having a bit of a laugh and a bit of banter with having these comps. And I totally understand the comps. I just feel like every group is running a comp.
Yeah, they are though. They are, because that's the only way that they feel like you can get active. That's the problem. Because whether you like it or not, that's always one post that's going to be active. Other than that, I mean, you got to run a fine line between having a dead group, and then you've got to find a way of dead patches to fill that gap to make it that little bit more active. Because once a group gets dead, it's dead. Like I'm admin on 2 or 3 groups now. They're still at like 4 or 5Ks, but I'm the only one that posts on them.
Nobody posting on them.
No, nobody posting on them.
So that's negative to me. That it's just I feel like even on these certain groups, it's the same people that are already in different groups, already communicating.
Yeah, of course there is. I mean, there's a few groups, like in the UK, that I find that look, I'm only a mod on one. One of them being Nick's group, that UK Vapors. And a lot of them they're not in any other groups. They're not in any other group, and they're all starters. They're not, and now they've come from that bit where it's been like a starter vapor, and now they're all started coming onto the mix.
Yeah,
which is a good patch, because it's like it's got a 9K group, wherever it is now. Now the Coles happened, but it's a nice group because they're not in any other groups, and you've actually seen them all come from hand checking like 30-40 pound devices to hand checking their endlesses, purges. Do you know what I mean? And it's I do like that, but you're obviously you're right. There is when you do competitions, you're going to be in every group because you want the more broader side of winning the mods. I mean, running a group's fun. It can be fun, but it can be a lonely place at sometimes when you're the only person there and everyone's giving you grief about shit. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Do you feel like there's a lot more sort of space now for like drama in groups and stuff like that? It's like that. I feel like sometimes last year it was heavy.
Yeah, but that's the only reason people join groups is either to do competitions or drama. Like, I love a drop of drama, Tom. I couldn't give a shit. Like, I say how it is, and people love me for it or they hate me for it. But I am what I am, and I'm not going to change for no one. Like, but the drama that goes on, and some of it is proper school stuff shit. Like, and then you have drama, and you go to places like Expo. And no fucking, you see the cunts doing commando rolls to avoid you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's madness. Like, fucking, they won't even look you in the eye, but yet they want to tell you they want to smash the door, your mum's back doors in on over a fucking computer. Like, do you know what I mean? It don't make. See, I'd rather not have a fucking like an argument over the phone. Come and we talk about it, Expo.
Yeah. I've seen that, and you see it weekly, you see it all the time. Do you know what I mean? I won't see it as much now from say 6 to 8 months ago. You'd see it every day 6 to 8 months ago. There is obviously still certain groups out there that do obviously cause a little bit of drama, or there's people post stuff on there to cause drama and whatnot.
Yeah,
it is a little bit exciting. Let's be realistic. You see it and you're like, ooh, a bit tasty. It's like watching fucking Jeremy Kyle, but it's Facebook. Do you know what I mean? But to me personally, I feel like it's quieting down on that side of things, because people, going back to what we're saying about people going into their own categories, people sort of moving away from groups and starting their own, and then to me personally, when I first got onto Facebook and we started using vape groups for vaping, there wasn't any. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't any groups on there, and from what there was to what there is now, it's sort of like, I feel personally, it's very much too many chiefs, not enough Indians, and there is groups with 21,000 people in, and then them 21,000 people are all in 20 other fucking groups.
Yeah. I mean, but there is just out and out bitches out there, though, Tommy. But it's the same as like when you support a football team. You don't like another football team. Like, and that's. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but it's that kind of thing. Which is the point. We beat you the other week, didn't we? 2-0.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
But yeah, like it's almost like football teams, or for instance, like I'm as endless as they come, but you got other people. All they want to do is try and slag it off. But we don't lie about what we are. But they're just fucking Chinese, mate. But when have you ever said? When has Paul ever said that they're not fucking Chinese? Like, you're just pointing out the obvious.
Exactly.
It's like saying to me, yeah, you're a fat bloke with a beard. Yeah, well, fucking no, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, crack on.
Stating the obvious sort of thing. Yeah.
But if you're going to have an argument with me, I'm not going to sit there and fucking sit there and do nothing. And I'm always gonna pull my bow, if you like.
I like the analogy about it, like, being football teams, because that is a great analogy about it, and people obviously choose their sectors and choose their cliques, and they go off in their own way. That's definitely a big part of it. But do you think there's a way we can change that, Adam? Do you think there is a way we can change that, or do you think it's
I don't know. I think I think a lot of people choose their football team based on what they can get for free or if cheap. I think that's a big part of the problem. Like with the sponsors and getting a lot of sponsors on and just basically, yeah. See, I don't mind free shit hunters, if you call them free shit hunters, when it comes to comps. It's when they open up a fucking group, try and get 16 million sponsors on, and they want something free off them all once a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the free shit hunters that I fucking despise, if you like.
But we still get that to this day. Obviously, people wanting the pages sponsors and stuff like that.
Of
And
course.
I'm the one that deals with obviously sponsoring the pages, which I don't necessarily mind. I don't mind doing it. I think it's when you're getting these people who start the groups, as you say, they've got 400 or 500 people in there, and then they turn around and expect the world.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate you've got to start somewhere. I get that 100% wholeheartedly. And obviously, we all know that obviously sponsoring groups is all about marketing and everything like that. We get that. Everybody who sponsors a group is obviously doing it for marketing purposes and to get their brand out there, to get their name out there and everything like that. But I personally feel that, like yourself, when yourself started promoting Endless and stuff like that, we never sent you anything. We never said, do this, Adam. You need to do that. You need to do this. You did it out of the love of your heart because you enjoy the product. You bought the products. You've tested the products. I mean, you've done it all yourself. We've never, ever turned around and been like, Adam, do this. You know what I mean? It's always been natural. And to me, that's the best way to do it, because if you have got
of course.
and you've got a love about a product and you want to give the product that attention, I feel like people very much feel like, I've got a group, it's got numbers, we expect everything.
I know. I get the messages on the daily. I get the messages on the daily saying, how'd you get a sponsor and shit like that? I don't fucking know. It fell in my lap. Do you know what I mean? Like, it fell in my lap because, I mean, as care packages, I mean, Paul and Tass, they've sent us a few bits, but they're not, as care packages go as a sponsor, I've only ever got one, I think. And that was when the Wire and the Juice come out. No, two. So I got the full range at Jam, and then I got the Wire, all the Wire that come out then. But I mean, they always see us all right. They send us Christmas presents and stuff like that in that respect. But I'd like to think that's through friendship now more than a sponsorship.
Exactly. I personally feel like there is more of the friendship there than there is the sponsorship. Do you know what I mean? It's like just giving a friend a thank you and saying, do you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate what you do.
Yeah.
Rather than it being like, you know what I mean, carry on doing what you're doing, and you know what I mean, here's a bit of a top up, you know, because that's how right. I feel a lot of times it is. But I mean,
sorry.
No,
even Tash said, like, whenever you're running out of anything, tell me. I would never ever dream of ringing up and telling. But she's like, listen, if you haven't got the product, you can't promote the product. Which is true in a sense, and what she's saying is right. But I mean, I've still got enough wire here to last me another couple of years.
It's the best way, but it's. I feel like there's so much to give, even though the Facebook groups are now some of them are 3, 4, 5 years old. You know what I mean? I still believe that we've still got another demographic to go for. We discuss this all the time about smokers and giving them the right information. And actually, if they want to come onto Facebook, because Facebook is free, you can tell people to come onto Facebook. But if they don't want to go on Facebook and they're not on Facebook, then how do you get that information across to them apart from them being in the shops? And with sort of vaping now being probably 99% on the fucking internet, even though there's a lot of shops out there, a lot of people do shop online. And that's in general day life. That's not just vaping. That's just in general day life. A lot of people do the shopping on fucking line. You know, can't even be asked to pop into Morrison's. They've got to do it online because it's just the way life is. So I feel like there is a lot more to gauge with people who are still smoking and getting the information out there. It's just, how do we get that fucking information out there?
It's an hard one, because I think, first of all, when you first start vaping, you would always go to a shop because that's what you do, and that's how you think you do. And then as soon as you realise how cheaper it is online, You don't go to that shop anymore, and I think that's like you say, that's the way. That's what we've become now, and it's not just about vaping. I think that's in every industry that everybody does that because whether you like it or not, it is cheaper online, and especially if it's the same product. But as we're trying to get them people over to it, I haven't got. I mean, this if they're not on Facebook, they're not going to be on any social media, are they? That's half the problem.
Do you think that's more down to loyalty than it being a cheaper product? Because we all, I when I first started vaping, I'd always go back to the same shop. I'd always speak to the guys in there. You make that relationship with the people in the shop. You know, you become very familiar with the people.
Yeah.
You sort of, when you first start vaping, you lean on every single word that person is saying.
Yeah, because you're relying on them, aren't you? You're relying on them. Like, I've got 3 shops around here, and 2 of them are crap, but they're good for starters. Like, when I say crap, you got the Totally Wickeds, you got the Liberty Flights, and then they're just not very good shops for advanced vapors. But they want to sell a product that's on par for what you need to start vaping, and they do the trick. But I have to go a bit further out to go to a shop that's been around for a long time since vaping first started happening. I think, and they even sell AF in there and all that. I think he's friends with Paul. And you sit down, you have a conversation with someone. I mean, even down to going into a shop and having a vape with someone and not talk about vaping. That builds up a bond. Do you know what I mean? You talking about other stuff in the shop, and it's. I mean, I will always try and go to a shop for stuff that I need, but if I'm ever buying a mod or something like that, it's cheaper for me to go to Shades.
Yeah, I feel like it convenient. Like if you're in a rush and you need a coil or you need a bottle of juice, you'll always sort of go to a shop. But if you are being an organizer, you're looking for a new mod, you always go to YouTube, you always go to Facebook, you always go to online stores and search out what it is. But that's probably prominent with people like us who are sort of the advanced vapor, knows what they're doing. Well, majority of us know what we're doing. So I feel like that's the way a lot of people plan it out. You know what I mean? They plan out the shopping when a new mod drops. This is what we're going to get. If we need some juice and we're urgent in need of a juice, we'll go into the shop and pick it up. You know, there is that sort of, and I wouldn't even say it's like loyalty. It's down to convenience. A lot of people ain't doing it because it's not convenient in their life.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'll always try and go to a shop for stock calls when it comes to like my mum's and stuff like that. But the shops primarily do not cater for the advanced vapor in the sense of they'll have some wiring, but not the wire you want, or they'll have some nice pre-made coils, but just not. They won't come in at the right ohms that you're looking for. But I mean, if you go onto like the Shades website, I mean, how much fucking wire you got there? Do you know what I mean? We've put it out a few times, haven't we? It's you can get exactly what you want, and you can get it to come in what ohms you want as well. That's the difference.
Is that sort of where we see the niche market going? Then is that what you sort of predict for the future? I don't
know. I think this mouth to lung craze need to get out of the way first, and then people. I mean. I think you've seen it as well as me, Tom. You've seen like tubes go up in fashion, tubes go down in fashion. You've seen regulated mods come out because they're easier. You know, RDTAs come out because they're easier. And then if people always go back to wherever. Now the mouth to lungs are easier, and they are easier. Like you just put it out of your pocket, and you can vape them stealthily as well. Like nobody needs to know you're vaping.
Let's hit on that then. Let's hit on that because I think that's a really good thing to pull up. Do you think it is like a fashion or a trend at that time where it booms?
What do you mean?
Like you're saying, obviously, like mouth to lung doing. We've always seen. Since I started vaping, especially sort of mechs to regulated and stuff. We've always seen like a 6-month cycle where mechs are booming for 6 months, then a regulated comes in, and that booms for 6 months, and then they go back to mechs, and that's always sort of been the way, especially for the last sort of 4 years. That's where I've seen the industry go. Do you sort of seem like now it is sort of what's the newest craze, or do you think it's what people are following because it's?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think it's the same as fashion. But fashion always comes around again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And no matter what you go back to using, you always sit there and think, oh, I ain't used that in a while, and you pick it up, and all of a sudden you like it again. If you've got that choice at home, then obviously you don't need to go out and buy it again. Or if another new mod comes out, then blah blah blah. But I mean, I honestly think mouth to lung is got a great idea for people to stop smoking. But it's especially with the Nick salts as well. It's just something new, isn't it? It's just something new.
It's like it's on the cycle again, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
mouth to lung's always been there. It's nothing like fresh.
Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah.
The Nick salts have obviously brought a little bit of freshness back with obviously doing, you know, the new pod systems, and the Nick salts to go in the new pod systems and stuff like that. But I honestly think, with me personally, I think the boom in mouth to lung is amazing, because there hasn't been a sort of constant sort of reminder, or there hasn't been something new all the time with mouth to lung. You know, we've had this discussion with Paul so many times, and he's probably used an AO for the last 18 months, nearly 2 years.
And he's probably got every single mouth to lung that's ever come on the market as well.
Yeah, and so he's seen, obviously, that the fact is that it hasn't been a big boom in forever in mouth to lung, and all of a sudden there's this big boom in mouth to lung, Nick salts, pod systems. You know, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot more to give in pod systems and Nick salts and stuff like that. But I agree wholeheartedly with yourself that it is sort of like a hype fashion sort of thing. It's very similar.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. I mean, and it's just finding that next thing. Because I remember when salts first come out, and the only person that done them originally was that Dr. Salts.
Yeah.
And they were doing them in 50 milligram, and people were dripping them on their neck, going, that is rank. I ain't ever tasting that again. Like, I've got an head rush. And like, I actually see one geezer that had done like a test of about 5 of them at 50 milligram, and he had to sit down for 2 hours. Like, he was back doing a review. He was just doing some review. I was like, mate, you're mad. You're doing it on a mech. He was like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And then as soon as they realised that it was literally just for like mouth to lung, then it kind of took off, because then Element's done it, and then anybody's got now doing their own salts, and the same with CBD. Look at the boom of that last year. Now it's like, do you know what I mean?
It's with coming sort of like CBD and stuff like that, talking on that a little bit. That sort of like came into vaping, and then it sort of like moved away from vaping, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, which is good, because I don't mind to go on the CBD when I can't sleep or anything. But I haven't had none recently. I haven't had none for a long time, and it's not really. I don't know. I think there's a place in vaping when you're vaping it.
Yeah. The e-liquid. Yeah. 100%, and we've said this a million times, that when it comes to e-liquid, that's a given. You have to vape it, you have to put it through a vaping device. But when it's for anything else, it's sort of it's gone off to its own thing, and that's how it should be.
Yeah. What about that?
Did you get a phone call?
Yeah. What's that about?
You're back. You're back anyway. You're back.
Yeah, sorry, I just bring back again.
You went to a weird, funny screen and then went back normal again.
I see. I was all squashed in the corner.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly about that, and I think there is ways of it going and stuff like that and whatnot, and we just have to sort of ride the wave. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we do have to ride the wave.
And I think it's the same with Facebook as well. Like, once people are kind of moving away from it, but then new people come in, and then it's going to be exactly the same. I think it's going to be exactly the same thing, because Facebook's always going to be around.
Yeah.
And as much as people think it's dying out, we've still got 15,500 people active on one group. So, do you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world.
Right. So we're going to jump into a little bit of news. We jumped into a little bit of straight into the show tonight, mate. We've been bang on it for the last 50 minutes, just banging on about it. So we've been all right. We're going to jump into a little bit of news. As I say, we've obviously discussed about the FDA and stuff like that every week, and we go over it. So there is a little bit of news on the FDA this week. This is a big thing, Adam, and I want you to give me your opinion on it. And it's only just hit me through this news article. So the New York governor wants to ban flavors in electronic cigarettes right?
Yeah.
Or e-cigs or vaping or whatever. He wants to ban flavors, but he started embracing legalizing marijuana, CBD, bud, and other
It just
marijuana.
sounds confused, doesn't it? It just sounds confused. I mean, the problem is with politics over in America, it's a popularity contest, isn't it? That's the problem over there, and that ain't ever going to change. I mean, for fuck's sake, they got Trump in. That's all you need to know. Do you know what I mean? Like the people you talk to, they're nice, genuine people, but fuck me, like they laugh about a retard. But I mean, we can't talk. We can't talk, can we? But, yeah, I mean, when you got these popularity contests and you got governors saying, "Oh, we're going to legalise cannabis," like straight away you've got the under-21 vote, and
Yeah,
so you've got everybody that smokes cannabis, which is like, well, got to be a lot of people under 25 at least. Like I'd say 80% of them. So straight away they want to be on it. But all that's going to do is taking away flavours from e-juice. It just make people make their own.
Do you think it will cause the black market?
Well, no, it don't even need to be a black market. You can flavour your own e-juice, can't you? I mean, how can they possibly go through every single package coming through your house? I mean, you can't train a dog to sniff out flavours, surely.
They're not going to shut down flavour houses because flavour houses also access for other food manufacturers. They're not just necessarily liquid; it's for food manufacturing as well. So it's I believe it's mad, but obviously the underlining of it is that, as you've said, they're literally just looking for a vote for under 21s for cannabis, and then sort of being like, do you know what? Let's stomp out vaping. But then I think about it, and then I think a lot of people, especially in the States, especially with the child epidemic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is what I don't get, because the kids are attracted to vaping purely for great big fuck off clouds. In my opinion, they don't go. If they'd rather go down the shop and buy a cake than the fucking vapor cake, surely. But you can still blow a massive cloud with no flavour. In fact, you probably got a bigger cloud with no flavour.
It's the coolness, isn't it? It's all everyone's doing it. It's the cool thing. It's the hip thing. As we said before, it's sort of like it's the fashion in teenage kids. And when we were at 12, 13, 14, smoking was the thing.
That's right. I'm fucking drinking. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I'd rather see my kid blow off a great big fucking cloud. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've still built the shit out of them, but like, I'd still rather see that than them with 20 fags in their hand and a you know what I mean, a pint of Stella. I know that much.
It's weird because you look back and you think about us when we were kids and sort of what we were impressioned by. Obviously, like smoking at the back. We had a part in the playground at school, and it was a huge. Our field at high school was huge, and you could literally stand right to the bottom of the field, right where the gates were, just where some trees were. You could stand there, and everyone went down there smoking. Everyone who walked down there, the teachers knew where the fuck they were going to have a cig.
Yeah.
There was a teacher that used to stand on the top of the drive. So you had the big drive in the school bit behind the drive, and then you had the big field. And there was a teacher that stood there with these big fuck off binoculars. I'm not kidding you, staring all the way fucking down the field to see what the kids were doing. Luckily, you were out of reach behind these fucking trees, so he couldn't see.
We had one that done the same, and he had a motorbike as well. So even when we used to go over the field, he used to come flying over the field on his motorbike as we fucking run.
It's weird how the fact is things have changed. Like I could never sit here and be an hypocrite and say if Poppy smoked, then I'd wanted to vape, and that's me being deadly honest. I'd rather see a vape smoke. I'd rather see her not do fucking either. But if I have,
it's the healthier option, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
It's the healthier option. No one's ever said that vaping is good for you, because it's not. But the fact of the matter is, it's 97.5% for you better than smoking. And that's. I mean, I don't know how they've come to that conclusion, but that is apparently what it is. And the fact of the matter is that with smoking comes other things, like when you do start smoking and puffing and smoking, especially around here. Hold a minute, all the kids are smoking weed and doing what they've got to do, and it's is a bit worrying. But then at the same time, kids are now at the moment, all they want to do is be really healthy. A lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a sudden craze in kids coming up the gym and actually generally wanting to be healthier.
Yeah, definitely there is that huge thing, obviously, of looking good, isn't it? It's not necessarily like it's looking good. You know,
Yeah.
we're big lads. We never sort of had that demand of fucking looking good. We just wanted to fucking smoke.
Speak for yourself.
You know, we just wanted to smoke and drink and a fucking chill out. We never sort of went for the gym life. You know what I mean? We weren't really fussed about how good we looked. But it's sort of like how kids these days is so different to what. Like I look at kids these days, not in that way. Before anybody says fucking anything,
You get put on the register for that.
when I sort of went to school myself, and you see girls these days, and they look a lot older than they are.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And you're thinking about obviously like going out and clubbing and the whole sort of vaping, smoking, you know, drinking. It's very much a different life to what it used to be, or what used to be in our time. So to me, it just worries me with the education and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like I know plenty of blokes who've got daughters who have started, or sons who have started smoking or vaping, and they've had the conversation of we'd rather you not do out, but obviously vaping is what we prefer you to do. And I know a lot of lads have set the kids up with vapes and gone, do you know what? Here's your vape. It's got 3 milligram of e-liquid in it. It's got fucking 0 in it. It's got shite all, and the kids are just doing it because they're doing it.
Yeah.
So that's the placebo effect. You're telling them they've got 3 milligram in, and night time you told them in a week's time, just to let you know you've been doing it with no fucking nicotine in it.
But that's all they want, though, Tom. That's all they want. They want to look cool. When I started smoking, I didn't smoke because I wanted a fag. I smoked because I wanted to look good.
Yeah.
It's all peer pressure, isn't it?
And it's just weird how the times have fucking changed as well, isn't it?
Of course. Like, you don't see kids out there playing football now. They're all inside playing football on the fucking PlayStation. Like, what's that about? Oh, you couldn't keep me indoors when I was a kid. You couldn't keep me indoors.
I think there's a lot of other things that keep kids indoors these days. It's not necessarily the kids; it's sometimes the parents.
No. Yeah, but it's a different world now, though, isn't it? To be honest with you.
I wouldn't say it's more a different world. I think it's more fucking publicised now.
Yeah,
Society is a lot more publicised.
Mate, there was a 14-year-old the other day around here that got dragged in a fucking forest. He was riding a moped, mind. He got dragged in a forest and stabbed to death. Like 14 years old. That's a fucking kid, mate. Do you know what I mean? And it's a worrying world we live in right now. Especially if you've got kids.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, what was a 14-year-old been doing on a moped? Do you know what I mean? It's obvious.
Exactly what I was going to say.
It's obvious what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? But
exactly.
He was still 14.
That's the thing. But shit like that was done in art when we were younger and stuff like that. It's just more out there and that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with social media again, things get slung about a lot easier, don't they?
100%, 100%. And that is the worrying thing, that it's not necessarily just like social media, but like even going back to vaping, there's sort of misinformation always out there. There's always misinformation, and that is one of the scariest things.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to misinformation on vaping, I always say to everybody, if they've ever got any questions on it, just message anyone. Like any one of our team on 2 girls will gladly help anyone. Like I know that, and I know that anyone would gladly help anyone if you inbox them. I mean, if sometimes it's hard to pluck up the courage to actually message a stranger asking them for help, but you won't be disappointed if you do.
Exactly. Right, I've got a question. I've got a question for you, and I'm also going to relay this question to chat as well. This question is: so I want 5 things you enjoy about vaping forums on Facebook and vaping groups and stuff like that, and 5 things you would change about vaping groups.
I don't know. That's a lot.
Let's start. All right. Let's do two then. Two things you really enjoy and you'd keep, and two things you'd really enjoy to get rid of.
I don't know, like the camaraderie. I love a lot. The way that if there's any argument, everyone sticks up for each other. And you kind of got each other's back. I like that. Let's do something I don't like. Don't like the bitchiness, the arrogance of some people that think because they've got 5 mods and they build that they know everything about everything, and you won't be told if they're doing something wrong. Like when they've got a fucking series box or a stacked mech and they're fucking builds at 0.15 and they're fucking, oh, this is really angry. He's like, yes, I know, mate, it's about to blow up. No, it's not.
I feel like in them fucking couple answers you give me, there's more negatives than there is fucking positives.
That was just one negative. That was just one big one.
Because I said this before, like on the live, Adam, and I said, obviously, yes, I am part of Facebook groups. Yes, I do get involved, but obviously, I'm not as much entwined as yourself and like Adele and Pixie and people like that who are running these groups and the forefront of these groups. We don't get to see like the stuff. Like I know there's been an incident recently, but I know that you guys ask for IDs to get into groups and stuff like that to make sure people are the right age. To me, that's a positive. That's a massive positive, and I don't think a lot of people would think to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean Neil Pugs is like a little Hitler. If you look 17 3/4, he's asking you for ID. Like, trust me.
But to me, that's a huge positive.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, maybe he could learn not to sound so rude on messages. Yeah.
Neil, that's a shot, mate. That's a shot. But speaking about that and the way that sort of that is, commanded and looked after, which is really, really positive, because obviously you don't want to be the group that is, sort of soliciting for younger vapors, which is a huge negative. But do you feel like there should be something out there for people to be educated who are younger?
I mean, the education's out there. You just need to know how to look at it right. But to be fair, these youngsters, they know more about the internet than all us put together. Like, fucking ruthless.
But sort of like on a Facebook scale of things, like
a forum, some kind of platform forum.
Because let's be realistic. Kids have got access to the internet, whether it's through a pad, smartphone, computers, laptops. They've all got access to internet. I've got nieces who are 13, 14 on Instagram, and I don't fucking particularly like it, but they've got access to Facebook, and they've got access to Instagram. To me, I agree wholeheartedly that we should be policing the right age to be in these groups, because these groups
in certain aspects. But then going back to what we were saying before, like, they're going to vape. Like, when we did used to smoke when we were that age, no one could tell us we're not smoking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe it would be good to have some kind of platform. But what do you do? What kind of platform do you set up that's not going to piss people off and go against the law? Or, you know what I mean? It's an hard one. It's an hard one to especially govern.
Yeah, because it's sort to me, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, what would you put into place if you had to put something into place? What would you put into place? Because what you've got to remember is obviously all the groups that we're all in are 18 plus groups.
Yeah,
because vaping is 18 plus. You have to be 18 plus. I think cigarettes is 16 or 18 now.
I don't know. Everywhere I look now, though, if you look under 21, you have to have ID. That's the only thing I know, because you see them pictures up when you go to the counter, don't you?
It's actually 25 now.
25.
It's actually 25. Cool. They used to call it, what did they used to call it? It's something like Ask 25, or it used to be Ask 21. Now it's Ask 25. And if somebody looks under the age of 25, you have to ID them by law.
Yeah.
Which to me personally is a bit weird, because if somebody's 18 and they look Do you know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
look under 25,
I mean,
but they're legal age.
it's fucked up. Like even down to watching porn. You can have sex before you can watch porn. Like it's a mad one, isn't it?
You can watch porn. Yes, just tobacco is 18. I've just checked it, so you can't buy 60 or 18. So everything across the board of smoking, tobacco, vaping, everything is 18. But we all know that there is underage of drinking, underage of smoking, underage of vaping. We all know that goes ahead.
Yeah.
What could we necessarily do to sort of advise? Because we can't. It's a tough one because you can't sit there and legally go, "Come join my fucking group, and we'll give you all the advice."
Right. I mean, the only thing you can do is word stuff very carefully, maybe. As a platform goes to be set up for them, I think it'll be closed down within 2 days. I think as much as your heart would be in the right place, it would be frowned upon massively.
But is that a negative thing though, Adam? I feel like that's very negative because I feel like if the kids were given the correct information and the correct the information is out there, you can search the internet and find out about it. But if the kids are given the right information, they may think twice about doing it.
But your hands are tied. Your hands are tied, and there's always going to be jobs worse out there that think that you're after a couple of quid and you're not after helping people out. It's as simple as that. Like your hands are always going to be tied because you're governed by the government. It's you can say that. All right, fair enough. You're going to smoke. You might as well vape instead. Is a vape, but you're not allowed to do that, even if even the best intentions are there. It's a mad one. It's a mad one. Like,
but then you can go to the doctors as an underage smoker and get NRT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't if your parents take you as a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, 14-year-old goes to the doctors. My kid's smoking. My kid's been smoking for a year, 8 months. We need help to get off the fags. The government will give them NRT to stop them smoking.
Yeah, but if you set up a social media platform for it, they're going to see that as advertisement, aren't they? That's the thing. What you're saying is right, and I agree with you. Like 110%. Like we said, like I'd much rather see kids smelling of donuts than I do of Benson edges. Do you know what I mean? But it's at the end of the day, your hands are strictly tied, aren't they?
That's the worst thing about it. Anthony's saying here in chat, he said, the problem is Facebook is too easy to set up new accounts and they don't need age verification to join. So it should stem from there that every account should be age verified, which I agree 100%. 100%. That should be age verification. But once again, it goes down to how the fuck are you going to age verify somebody that's 16? How are you going to age verify that's 17? You know what I mean? It's how you're going to do it. Stephen said world's gone soft now and everything, which that is the truth. The world is very much PC and you can't do anything without that. And then Madeline McCann's in the chat again. Hello, Maddie.
Nicky.
Said, exactly, but people still get on their high horse over clones and it really pisses me off as most people who have limited budgets and cannot afford. I think he's on about another subject, but yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I agree with it.
I just feel like I wish there could be something we could do.
Yeah, but I would love to do something like that. But number one, nowadays you'd probably get done for grooming or some shit. and number two, like say if you opened up a group strictly for that, you'd have, like the policing of it would be like so strict. You'd have to word instead of like what you have to do, what you could do. Do you know what I mean? You'd have to be like if you put this building like this, you'd have to be what you could do or something. It's an hard one because I reckon it would be closed down within 2-3 days. As soon as some right wing toff see it, and it'd be like straight on the Facebook police, and it'd be closed down.
It's because the reason I'm saying like social media, because let's be realistic. If you did it out in open, as in, I'm trying to class the internet as not the real world, and this where we are now is in the real wild world. What I'm trying to say is that kids have access to internet regardless of the age. My poppy sits on YouTube and will watch YouTube. She has access to internet. She knows how to work a phone and a pad just as good, and she's not even 3 yet. So she's got access to that world. Whether we like it or not, kids are very technically minded. They're on phones. They're on everything internet-based. That is the life of a lot of kids. And for you to go out even into the streets and be like, underage smoking needs to have some sort of support unit. Do you know what I mean? Even that way, I don't think it'd work because social media is where kids feed off. They feed off social media. They're watching YouTube videos. You know what I mean? These kids are.
Once again, you can't approach kids in the street nowadays, Tom. You can't do that, mate.
But do you know what I mean? It's a really, really good discussion because the fact is that we do want to give them the correct information, but you are so tied back to things that you can't give them that information.
Yeah, and it's not just that; it's worrying as well. Like you, for instance, you work for Paul and Tash and Shades, yeah. So therefore, if you give that information to a child, and then that child goes and tells its mum, like your name's dirt, whether you like it or not. It's because it's also so therefore it's a scare tactic as well. Like it's a fine line to tread, and it's hard to tread it.
Yeah. 100% agree with you, 100% wholeheartedly. And it's just even sort of thinking about, giving that, because there is we were kids, we were 12, 13, 14-year-old when we started smoking. I know for a fact my parents never smoked.
We still are up in our heads.
My parents never smoked, my parents don't drink, and sort of they would never been able to give me, even if I turned around at 12 and 13 and said, Dad, I'm smoking. Do you know what I mean? I want a little bit of help. I'm doing it because it's the in thing. I'm not doing it. I like it, but I'm addicted, and now I need to smoke. I need to have a cigarette.
You get smacked round the head and told to fucking stop, wouldn't you?
Do you know what I mean? But if there was that sort of outlet where I could have gone and got that information from necessarily somebody else, and they would have been like, this is the right way of doing it, even if it comes down to people in schools where you have somebody as an advisor in a school that if they know kids are smoking, they can give them that advice rather than.
I think you've just hit the nail on the head there. I think that's the only way you can do it, and also have the backing of a lot of people if you go around to schools and do it that way. I
won't necessarily stand. I won't say it should be down to sort of teachers, because that's not their role in schools. They're there to teach education, not necessarily. Even though learning about not smoking and stuff like that should always be a warning to kids. Do you know what I mean? It should always be there. It should always be some sort of information that's given. But obviously, I'm not saying it's down to the teachers. But if there was some sort of advisor that the new kids were smoking in school, and they wanted to give that information out, the information is freely for them to give it. But then you get some snowflake parent who'd come in and go, "Why's my kid got to stop smoking fucking leaflet in his bag?
Yeah.
Why are you telling my kids about stop smoking? He don't smoke."
Yeah, but I mean, there was also that stigma around that when it comes to like sex education as well. But at the end of the day, like you say, kids are going to grow into adults. Adults, we all have sex. We all just smoked. We all fucking vape. It's parents have got to stop wiping this shit out of their own heads and thinking that their kids are sweet and innocent, because they're kids, and kids fall to peer pressure.
Yeah.
It's part of life. It's part of life. Like I remember sex education, you come home with a condom, it's like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Like
Keith Wilson said it needs a TV advert with a bunch of retired folk. The older, the better, like me. Dancing around singing vaping is the coolest thing ever. Teens will never look at a vape again.
but like daddy dancing.
I generally think that would be actually cool as fuck. And I think that would go viral quicker than you think.
Yeah, you know for a fact there'd be 32 teenagers just sitting there going, "This is gonna be great."
I'm telling you, that's the thing. It's such a big discussion on underage vaping or underage smoking that it's such. you know, there's such a knock-on effect when the information isn't being given out there. You know, I was never told in school not to smoke. I was never advised in school not to
Yeah.
do this. There's not that, and then people want to educate it, and then you're getting slandered for educating and giving this information out when my kids really shouldn't really know it.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to do it anyway.
Part of the big problem is it's when you're a kid, all you want to do is be old. And so anything that makes you look older is cool, whether it be drinking, whether it be smoking, whether it be vaping. And because a lot of adults are gone from smoking to vaping, this is why the kids think it's cool, because they want to be older. They want to look older, and they want to look like more mature, if you like.
But as we said before, you can never sort of get around the fact is that kids will be kids and kids will do what they want, because we did exactly that when we were kids.
Yeah. I don't know a single adult that didn't do what the fuck they want as a 13, 14-year-old kid.
Exactly. So if anybody in chat wants to give us an idea on how we can do this properly or some sort of way of doing it, we'd be more than appreciative to find out how to do it, because I think in the long run, I think that would be very much advisable, because kids listen to their parents, but they don't listen to their parents as much as they do a fucking stranger, especially the ones that will listen and not going to telltale tattle on them, because kids won't tell teachers they're smoking, because the first thing teachers will do is fucking put them in isolation or tell parents or whatever like that. So I feel there needs to be that out there, and I think it would beneficial sort of kids as much as it would beneficial ideas and kids not being on these sort of. But then I sit here, Adam, and I think kids are going to do it anyway.
You know, of course they are. There's nothing anyone's going to stop. I mean, like you say, you can give them the information they need to do it safely. You can give them the information that the fact it's not good for you, it's just better for you than smoking. But ultimately, it's down to that child. Even a pre-adolescent. See, that child automatically thinks he's a 28-year-old man that's in a child's body. That's half the problem.
Yeah, that's a good thing to discuss. What Keith just said. My kids and now my grandkids help me mix my DIY mixes. I do the nick later. None of them have smoked or vaped yet. Would you
say none of them have smoked or vaped yet that you know of?
No, but would you also say they don't vape or smoke and all because you've given them that knowledge?
Maybe, but listen, my mum never knew I smoked.
Does your mum smoke?
My mum used to smoke, yeah. My mum's been vaping longer than me. In fact, my mum nicked my first ever vape kit.
Shout out to Mumsy.
Yeah.
No, I like and I dislike what Keith said. I do like the fact that he is giving the knowledge to the kids, and the kids know what it is, and they know not to pick it up, and they know not to drink it, or they know not to fuck with it or anything like that. They keeps giving them knowledge, and then in the back of my mind, I'm going, parent, don't fucking do that, don't do that, don't do that. But there is a massive positive to that, because the positive is that they're understanding what it is. And then not like going in wherever they is in the room, whether it's on the top shelf or it's in the kitchen or wherever his vape stuff is. Predominantly not on the kitchen, not on the living room coffee table, I hope. But
I mean, that's like Adele's Nancy. Adele's Nancy's always been around either Adele's house or my house. My house is like a fucking vape shop, right? I've got juice absolutely everywhere, and Adele's is exactly the same. And she's never even looked twice at it. She knows more about vaping than some of the people I talk to on the groups. But I haven't taught her that, and nor has Adele. This is from conversations she's heard.
Listening and that, yeah.
Because no matter what you can do with kids, you can't ever tell them to shut up and close their ears. Do you know what I mean?
And I like what Keith's saying, though. Let's have a look. Keith said, I know for a fact the more you treat them as adults, the more they act like one. And that is the truth. That is the truth.
I mean, to some extent, maybe regarding that. But I mean, it all depends on the child itself. I mean, really, I mean, if you can get a little shit that's going to do whatever it fucking wants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes you can't stop a little shit. I was a little shit, and my parents, as I say, never smoke, never drink, never do shit at all. But I was always sort of either trying something new, like smoking or whatever. I was always up to no good, and you know what I mean. But I can't. I agree with what Keith's saying 100%. I 100% agree with him, and I think that's a really, really good way of looking at it. That obviously keeps giving that information out to his young'uns and saying this is what this is, and giving them the straight up information about it. You have got people out there that will just leave their vape shit on the coffee table, and kids will access it.
Yeah.
The same way I know kids of my age when I was younger, parents used to throw fags on kitchen side or onto coffee table, and we'd happily teeth a few out at the back. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's necessary, as you said, it's sometimes about the kid rather than the actual education they're given. You know, some may think, fucking hell, now I know it all. I can go out and do as I fucking please. But obviously, on Keith's experience, he's obviously taught his youngers the right way, and then they've obviously took it on board and know what it is, and they sort of have no intrigue to it because they don't know what it is. There is no this sort of mystique to it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a lovely world if all parents vaped and all parents mixed their own juices, wouldn't it? That's I mean, but the fact of the matter is, 90% of the people that do vape, they don't mix their own juices.
Yeah, but it's even down to sort of education because my puppy's never picked up one of our vapes in the house, never.
No.
And,
No.
and gone and put it in her mouth or even gone even to pick it up. Even a battery, she's never gone and picked it up. Necessarily, that's because she's seen it since the day she was born. I think I took her in her first vape shop when she was about two-week old.
Yeah, but then I've been over the field once, and some random kid, when I'm lying on the grass, some random kids come up and grabbed. I think it was only like a Smock 22 stick, stuck it in his mouth, and that was a proper baby, and I had to quickly snatch it away from him. Like some things can't be helped. It's not It's how inquisitive a child is, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But once again, it also proves with education that some kids will take it on board and will listen to what's being told. And if that information isn't, it's like going back to being guinea pigs in vaping. We're all guinea pigs in vaping since it's now as big as it is. In the past, we've been guinea pigs. We've tested all these devices, said what works best because we are vapors and we've doing it. Well, it's that's sort of like putting your kids as a guinea pig by saying we're going to show you this, and at the end of the day, you'll know what it is, and there's no mystique about it, no mystery about it. You know exactly what it is. You know not to touch it. You know it's not for you because it's used for vaping. This is what it goes into. This is how I vape, and this is what happens. And that's sort of a positive to me because you're obviously showing the kid that it is. I know plenty of kids who parents smoke and they've never had any inkling or any sort of interest in smoking. And then there's like people like me who parents never drink, never smoked, and I love the fucking pint and love the cig.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. But what do you do then? Do you educate the parents more, or like how do you?
Does it come back to common sense though? Does it massively just come back to common sense? Teach kids shit.
Yeah,
Do you know
but
what I
then
mean?
what do you do with them? Like the rest of the world that parents don't vape or smoke or just don't vape and they do smoke. Like
that's exactly my scenario. Mine, as I say, my parents never smoked, never drunk, and I did exactly the opposite. And I never had the education not to drink and not to smoke. It was always said, "Don't smoke. You're not coming in my house to be smoking," all that shit. My parents would always be like, "Nah, it's not happening." The day they found my sister smoking, she was out and about, and they drove past her. She was on a fag, but I'd ripped her in the fucking car and said, "You're getting in the car. You're not fucking going out with these lot." Do you know what I mean? Got her home, give her a apology. Do you know? It's necessarily down to. And I can't say it's down to parenting because kids will beat kids.
Yeah.
Keep saying if I had ever told them not to touch my vape gear, they would have done behind my back. I teach them about it, let them touch the gear when I'm around. They have never touched it. So they've seen this is Keith obviously talking from experience, and his kids have seen the vape gear. They know what it does. They know how it works, and the education is there. So that then it goes back to me saying there's no mystery about it. They know what that does. They know the reason it's there. They know the reason Keith uses it, and that to me is a perfect example of education that should.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I agree with you both. Like education should be the key, but I think education should be as well as done in an environment where all kids have got access to it, and not just
Yeah.
a certain few that have parents that do vape.
And then we start pulling it back to you fucking get in trouble for giving them sort of information. So
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a vicious circle, isn't it?
you are in a catch-22 situation, which is the main thing about it, is you can't give out that information, and the people that are giving out the information are giving out the right information. But that's because
I mean, you can give out the information, you just can't target it to the people you want to target it to. That's the problem.
No, I get that wholeheartedly. I get that. Is there anything you want to touch on tonight, mate?
No, not specifically. I've just enjoyed myself, if I'm honest.
There's not much news gone out recently and stuff like that, so we've got not really much news to discuss. And obviously, I had you on obviously to talk about what was going on in the groups and sort of, you know, opening the groups up a little bit to people that necessarily don't see behind them. Obviously, everybody's sort of in a group in here, but
Yeah,
don't necessarily see behind the doors and the organization and the free time you guys do give up to run groups, and you know the investment time that you have, and which is obviously been probably an eye opener for a lot of people. Let's sort of get back to groups. I just want to jump over a few little hurdles and stuff that I do want to. I would like to sort of hear your opinion on and stuff like that. Groups as a whole, and I said this before. What would you do? What would you take away? What would you give about these groups and everything like that?
Yeah, like I said, I do like the fact that the whole the camaraderie aspect of it, and the fact that you don't just I mean, I've met some of my best friends through groups, and I've also met some right fucking idiots. But I suppose that's exactly the same in everyday life, isn't it? Like, you're always going to come across a complete arsehole, and you're always going to come across nice people. But yeah, I mean, that's that kind of aspect I do like about it. I would take away. I'd probably, I don't know, take away a good 50% of the groups. There's a lot of groups out there. But I mean, it's like do you know what pisses me off? It pisses me off when people they do get this free fucking shit because they open up groups and they've got 64,000 fucking sponsors, and they don't ever give nothing back. Like, nothing goes back.
Do you think that's some sort of, even like when you were saying about comps and stuff like that? And I know you've done it to me a few times. You've given me a couple of devices, Tom, to try them, tell me what you think. You've done it to me a few times. Do you feel like there isn't that sort of community vibe like there should be on Facebook?
Mate, I know people that get this stuff to review. Don't do the review and sell it. Like, straight up, that's a fucking piss take, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, and if that's not starting a group for financial gain, like, what is? And then they're running around trying to get their numbers. I've left these groups, and I know for a fact 2 or 3 people that do it, and I know for a fact, and they run raffles with it. They're selling like £20 devices for £100 and all shit like that, and it's an absolute liberty. Like, but this is what I'm saying. That some people, that when you open up a group with the right intentions, then good luck to you, and I wish you all the best. But when you've literally got 42 sponsors in the first week, like, and you haven't even got time to hand check all this free shit you're getting, so no one can keep an eye on the free shit you're getting. You can sell whatever the fuck you want. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm not being funny or nothing, Tom. Like, the stuff I have knocked back and said I literally do not want it, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Like, Adele's the same. She's been offered to do social media for fucking companies as well, and she's just said no, don't want to. Because just once the fun starts going out of it for me or her, then there's no point in us doing it anymore.
Yeah. Do you think there is like a dark side of groups and stuff like that? Like
Of
without
course there is.
without trying to sound like, oh, it's exposure time. Do you know what I mean? Do you think?
No, of course there is. There's always listen. It's a fact of life that people always going to slag people off behind their back, and they're always going to do stuff. But when it starts like encroaching into real world, when you know people from the real world, and you know the ins and outs of them, and they're trying to be someone completely different on here, and then someone exposes them and shit like that. It's always going to be animosity, especially when like you don't get on with another group and you're doing a lot better than the other group or stuff like that. Like you can see they've got the ump. You can see that when they get the arsehole about it. And I couldn't give a shit if I'm honest. I do not care. When I hate when company right groups like, oh yeah, this is the best juice in the world. This is the best juice in the world. And that sponsor drops them or stops sending them free shit, and then fucking. This is the next best thing in the world. This is the best thing in the world. This is the best thing. So it's all that brand hopping, and I fucking hate that as well. In my passion, like these people with 42 sponsors, they can't have 42 of the best juices in the world. I mean, we both know that the juice market is flooded at the minute, like absolutely flooded, and you cannot say that one brand has the best juice flavors in the world ever, because it's just not. It don't happen, does it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we've got a few comments. So you've got Keith saying, I'm not on Facebook or social media. I don't have to engage with the assholes. That guy's got the fucking best way of doing it. Anthony says, in my opinion, there's a lot of groups out there that start them for the wrong reasons. Most now have lost the community side of things. There are a few that have stayed with because I enjoy them. And then Neil said, Neil Pugsley said, I've had people message me how to start groups to get free stuff off companies. I just block them.
Yeah. And the brazenness of people that actually do message you this shit, they actually think that all of my stuff I've got is fucking, I must have got it free. Like I swear they think either that or they think I'm a millionaire. Like, which is like, oh, you got free shit. Anybody that asks for free shit, I don't ever fucking give. But there's a few people I know that when they go through struggle times, because I've got enough juice here, and I've been given a lot of juice, and some of it I won't ever go. I always send them juice, always.
Do you feel like it's very hard to distinguish between the genuine and the fake?
Not really, because like even when you know people are at it, like I don't mind helping them out the first time, but there's one group out there and there's one geezer, and I swear once every fortnight he puts up, I'm out of juice, and he gets 4 or 5 people going, I'll send you juice, I'll send you juice, I'll send you juice, and it's just that kind of thing pisses me off. Like, you can't pay for free. I don't care who you are, huh?
I think that gives a massive negative light in sort of the genuine people who do need juice.
Of course, but most of the people that really generally do need juice, you would never know about it anyway.
Yeah, because they're private messaging people rather than it all over Facebook. One thing I do want to touch on, Adam, which I know has been rife in the last sort of 18 months, scammers.
So, mate.
You got another phone call.
Yeah.
Tonight, son. You wanted tonight.
Go on.
Scammers. Obviously, there's been over the last 18 months. I would say there's even a group in the background for admins of groups that can see scamming people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a massive epidemic in vape groups?
Yeah, but I don't just think it's about vaping. If I'm honest, though, Tom. I mean, where you've got a product that's worth £100 plus, there's always going to be people either trying to scam that off of you or get you the money to send you this fake one. Do you know what I mean? Whether it be in vaping or anything, like even you've got a pair of them Jordans behind you, for instance. Do you know what I mean? Like you could take a picture of them and send someone a box of dog shit. But do you know what I mean? You're still going to get the money for it. If the money's there, then people are always going to try and get that money off you.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been an influx of it, but of scamming. But do you know what pisses me off? The fine line between scamming for that, like say you can scam, like get the money and then I want the product. That's the scamming. But then you also get someone that's 2 days late on postage and also they're scamming. Or say for instance, you send someone out a free prize and then they're trying to fucking say, well, if you don't give me that prize, we're going to be on scam. Mate, listen, I sent it out 2 weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I didn't want to pay the extra fucking couple of quid and put, because you didn't want to pay, sorry, the extra couple of quid and put it recorded delivery, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, crack on. But then there's a broad spectrum of scamming and it all comes under scammer. See, this is what I'm saying. When people say to me a scammer, I expect them to, they've scammed you off of money or they've scammed you off the product that you've paid for.
Yeah, and there is a much fine line of it just not turning up or it's not being sent the fucking minute you want to come.
Yeah, like if it turns up 2 days later, right, that's it. I want something else. They're all after something for free. That's the thing. Like these people that do that kind of thing, or they're after drama. That's it. It's as simple as that.
What's Keith said I'd send him free juice. It might be yellow tinged and smell bad though. And then Pixie said, I hate it when people make up sob stories like they're on X Factor to try and get free shit because they want to vape. The thing that annoys me about that is, well, not necessarily that, but I always see when you see a status of, I haven't got a coil or I ain't got any juice, and if I am, I'm going to have to go out and get a pack of fags.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like holding you to ransom, isn't it? Because they know everybody on a vape group don't want you to go back to smoking. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you get fuckers like me who turn around and go, fuck off, back.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I'm the same. I mean, the people like you half know are genuine because like you being on the groups, you know, you get to meet a lot of, you get to you get to know a lot of people, and you know the ones that are struggling sometimes, and you know, like even through like posts and shit, the reasons why, and like from through that, like it's almost like a friendship. You do know when your mate's down, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, like it's I do generally know the ones that are genuine, if you like.
Yeah, because it's a huge thing with what a lot of people don't realize. You know, like Adam, I get to see you 3 times a year for that.
Mm.
But I speak and see you on most days on social media, media. But then people don't distinguish that relationship, and it's a huge thing. Like there's always a positive and a negative to it. The positive is when we do go to these vape shows, it's like I've not seen you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
We thought like we just had a fucking dinner last night and chilled out. For the last 2 years, we've been seeing each other every day, and that's a massive thing because these relationships are formed on social media and through vaping, and then you do get people that are the bad eggs in it and do cause shit through this industry and sort of do want to have it their own way and they want to be the big dogs and stuff like that. And I think in the long run, what we really need to think about is, and which is not really pressed on a lot, is the fact is that vaping saves lives. When you get or adds years to people's lives, you know, the positivity of people thinking, I spoke to someone today, I told them what rice juice to get, what coil to get, I give them a little bit of advice. I've put them on the right, I feel like I've put them on the right track.
Yeah.
Being a bit like, you know, a bit like self sort of, you know what, here's a pat on your back, you've done something good for somebody, not splashing it all over social media and being like, do you know what, I've actually done this, I've done that. Just a bit of self-gratitude in the fact that you've placed somebody in the right spot, you've given them the right information. That positivity isn't there, and I feel like it doesn't need to be splashed all over Facebook. I know for a fact you're exactly the same as me. You still get messages 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? What do you think of this? Look what I've got. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I haven't got. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm snoring and farting in the bed. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to answer my messages.
Yeah.
But it sometimes needs to be that there is that positivity, what people are gaining from Facebook, and it's not always about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, even down to that when people do ask for advice on a group, sometimes it's easier on a group chat. It's the same definition of like too many cooks. You know what I mean? Like, we've all got our own way of vaping, we've all got our own way of building, and everybody will do something that little tiny little bit different from the last person. And then you've got, no, you'll do this, no, you do that, no, you do that. So, I mean, it's always better to know a few different ways and come up with your own conclusion.
Exactly. Helping the genuine ones. I'll gladly do ones asking for free stuff. I've been off. I'd send, let's have a look. What else has been said? Keith, anyone that asks me for free gear will never appreciate it. I feel the more money you have invested in a device, the more chance of it keeping you off the fags. That's it. It's a good way of thinking about it. Anyone got any juice? Has anyone got any juice prepared?
Yeah, good luck with Tucker, mate. Good luck with Tucker. No one's getting that.
Good old Mikey Brown. What's up, Mikey? What's Ant saying? There is far too many people on Facebook wanting attention. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah.
We just never take it.
They want to be Facebook famous.
Someone called me to one of the. I was in the shop one time. I won't mention the shop name because they are a good friend of mine, and it was the lady that said it. And one of her friends was in the shop at the time, and she went, "Tom's Facebook famous." Do you know what I did? I picked up my bag and I walked out the shop. That is the wholehearted, honest truth. I picked up my bag and I walked out the shop, and she said, "What do you doing?" I says, "I'm off." I says, I don't like that term because I am just anybody. Anybody who thinks I'm famous, I absolutely hate when people say people are vape influencers and stuff like that. I am somebody who works for
a public figure.
Or a public figure. I hate that. I am a person who vapes and just does a funny show on a Wednesday with a couple of his mates.
Yeah, I am a UK vapor that vapes.
There should be more people out there that just do this for pure enjoyment. I do not sit here on 2 hours on a Wednesday when I could be happily eating my dinner, watching TV, or fucking upstairs in my bed. I do it for the pure enjoyment of doing it. I don't do it because I feel like when I walk around Expo, everybody knows my face. It's not about that.
Yeah. No, but don't get me wrong. It's lovely going around Expo and everybody's saying, "All right, Adam, how's it going?" And it is nice. Generally nice meeting the people you have been speaking to over the past year.
Yeah.
It's nice meeting up with them, and it's nice having a beer. But I mean, it does take a little while to get round Expo, but fuck it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but I would never in a million years class myself as fucking anything like that. Not in a million years.
No, because at the end of the day, you know your roots and you know where you've come from and you know what you are as a person. And I think a lot of people do forget that. And there is a fair few people out there that do forget that. You know, you are literally just if you come off Instagram or you come off Facebook, you are just you. You are nobody. You're a nobody. You're a little fish in a big pond, and people don't seem to remember that. You know, once you come out of it, you are in the big wide world, and at the end of the day, all you're doing is vaping.
Yeah.
And there might
be
people still out there that respect you and understand what you do and, you know, respect what you do. But at the end of the day, you should be doing this sort of stuff for yourself. And
yeah, of course. All my friends around here think nuts. Like my friends I've grown up with, they're like, "What the fuck's he doing? Like blowing some stupid great big cloud." Like, they're like, "Adam's lost the plot. He stopped smoking. He stopped drinking. He's fucking. What's going on?" Like, they all think I'm mad. But he's going all around the fucking country, going to these vape events. Like, fucking hell.
It is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, and that's the stuff in the last couple of years.
And I'm honestly, I cannot wait till Manchester next year. This year, sorry. I think that was one of the best events I've ever been to. I love that. But even though it was boring for us a little bit, I think the whole idea of the event and it actually being a lifestyle event, I thought was good.
I feel like if the shows stay as they are, I feel like people may get bored. But I think that if the shows like Expo's the one, but like with the lifestyle now stuff of it, like at Manchester, it's definitely opening up to a lot more people.
Yeah. And I'm not being funny. I probably liked it more because everybody was there and we had the time to socialise with everybody as well.
Yeah, with Expo, you do know it's busy and that, though. It's constant, it's non-stop. And, you know, that for me personally, whether we're doing the show, when we do the shows, I enjoy the socializing aspect of it.
Of course.
And I know Paul
Of
does, I
course.
know Tash does. It's meeting up with people you've, as you say, been talking through to the internet. And then when somebody comes up to you, you've never met before, but you've spoke to them a million fucking times, and you don't realize who they are because the fucking face is a dog on their Facebook profile. You know, and you meet these people, you have a chat with them, and you finally actually put a face to a fucking Facebook profile picture. That's the whole enjoyment of it, and seeing people and catching up is a massive thing. Just want to say night to Keith. Take it easy, mate. Thank you for jumping
Right,
in.
Keith, mate.
But yeah, that, as what's Pick saying, that's the real reason I want to go Expo now, just to see friends. That's exactly it, and that's probably the best part of it, is being able to see friends and that. And catch up.
I mean, I probably went to every single big vape event last year, and it's all the same. Like, once you've been to one, you've been to them all. Like, but I still go because I enjoy it.
Exactly. Well, I think we should sign off a little bit early tonight. Paul's not joining us. He did message me and said he's not joining us. What we'll do, though, even though Paul's not here, we will still do status of the week.
Go on.
A memory of Paul, we'll do his status of the week. This was posted Monday, and the status is sick of seeing that cunt whinging about not getting an apology from our Phil. You'll get your compo regardless. Stop begging it. You're boring as fuck. He never apologized for killing Diana. You ain't got no chance, Bob.
Okay, yeah, that one I do.
So, but he also did another one as well, which was Odd Job Bob, and I quite like that one because I got the. So, Adam, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Even on short notice, you keep me gabbing, which I really enjoy tonight. Tonight's flown by. Everybody who's joined in chat and everybody from regulars to new people, thank you ever so much for joining us. Remember to thumbs up the video, subscribe, and hopefully Paul will be back next week with us. If not, we'll get Adam back on and we'll go back over some fucking other shit. So thank you ever so much, guys, and we'll see you next week. Take it easy.